Hello, this is Christian, your instructor, and welcome to Angular. This is a really exciting course, although we are moving quite fast, so I highly encourage to make sure that you don't fall too far behind, like I mentioned in my email. Now, let's go over a few things first. The first thing you want to do is go into the before you begin, and I mentioned that this should be submitted before you can see the syllabus, but I think there's a issue with the Blackboard, so I'm just going to release it anyway. But please do go on there and submit the syllabus acknowledgement. That is an assignment. It's worth 20 points. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Now, this is a 5-week course. We're running in a boot camp style, so we'll be moving really fast. So we're compressing like a 15-week to 5 weeks so you can see the amount of workload put into each unit. So I highly recommend that you do not fall behind. All right, so let's look at the course schedule first to kind of see what's upcoming and what are the things that you learn in this course. These are the topics you'll be learning in this course. Now, most of the time you'll be building a lot of, modules and components. Okay, and that is what Angular is made up of. Usually components is driven by that. So you can think of Angular as a application that uses a lot of Lego blocks, right? You can put Lego and build something out of it, except those Lego blocks are, reusable. Okay, so for week one, you're going to be introduced to Angular, the framework. Just a really high overview what Angular is, what are the pieces that make up Angular, and you also be learning about TypeScript. If you have not learned TypeScript before, don't worry too much about it. It's exactly the same as JavaScript, except with a new feature called type data, right? So, and a few little minor differences, but mostly it's the same as JavaScript. It takes JavaScript syntax, so no problem there. Okay, but I do put a link in there to kind of give you where some resources are available on the TypeScript site if you want to learn more about it. Um, and then also the modules and components. These are the heart and soul of Angular, I would say. So I put here in the chapters, in the sections that you should read, because it's not structured the way I wanted it. So I'm going to move things around. As you can see here, the chapters are being like moved around here quite a bit. So just refer to those sections when we go into that unit or that section. All right, so we'll be learning about component lifecycle, the directives and data binding, the syntax. We'll learn more about that, and then some routing basics. Later on, towards the end of the course, we'll be learning about dependency injection, how that works, and services. This is where you inject data outside of a component to a component, and also you'll be interacting with a server using APIs. Okay, so that the whole idea is to build an application, kind of similar to in the book, although we're going to build our own application that will perform these basic CRUD operations. Okay, so these are the topics, and we're going to have a final exam as well. It's a really short exam. Don't worry too much about exam. And then we have a final project. Okay, so let's talk about the final project in here. So the project is we're going to be building together, and because the course is so short, instead of having you build a separate project in addition to your assignments, I'm going to put those together. Okay, so if you do your assignments, those are the assignments that will actually build the final project. So if you complete your assignments and then put them together, and then you get your final app. Okay, and you need both of those to pretty much pass this class. All right, so we'll be doing that each week. We add more stuff to the app as we go along, but you can also choose something else completely if you want to. You are more than welcome to do that. If you have something in mind you want to build, that's fine with me as long as you let me know and I approve it. And then as I mentioned here that the example in the book and any existing apps out there are a ton of them, they do not qualify. So please don't choose an app out there and just use their code, all right? So I want you to really build your own original app. Even the idea is not new, maybe, like a blog, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But you should really build your own, okay? And that's the way you learn, and that's how you can get the best out of this course, okay? And I forgot to mention one thing is that all assignments, including the project, are due on the last day of class. So there's no due date in between. Okay, it doesn't mean that you should wait until like the last week of class to do everything, turn them in. Okay, that's going to be very hard, and I'm not sure if that's even doable unless you're already a veteran developer. You know what things work, maybe, but I don't recommend that. All right. So, and when you submit your assignments, mostly throughout your assignments will be in the Angular app format. So when you submit your source code, when you zip them, please, again, I'm putting red here, please do not include the node modules folder. Okay, that's a folder that contains all the packages, all the libraries. It's like hundreds and maybe thousands of them if you look in there that are needed to make your application work. And that's also managed by an npm. So don't submit the folder, just the source code, usually inside the src folder, the package.json file, and all the assets you need for your app to work. Okay, so everything else except this folder here would be fine. And then also document your code. Your code, also your take a screenshot of your word of your output, and so I can easily see them, and it helps me to grade your assignments much faster that way too. Okay, so that's just something I want to throw out there. Now let's look at the learning units for a little bit here. All right, so in Unit 1, we have the same structure. If you take my classes, the same 3 structure. You prepare all your readings are here, in videos are put in here, in the practice folder here. These are not graded, but it does give you some exercises going to help you build what you learn in the prepare folder. Okay, and then your apply folder is where all your assignments are. So in the prepare folder, I have here the reading materials, the reading sections you need to read, and here is for week 1. You will be introduced to Angular in chapter 1, so please read all the section in that chapter. It's really important. And then chapter 2, just those 2 sections to understand the modules and components and how what they are and what they mean. And then I'll have here some links to TypeScripts. Okay, some very basic stuff about the data types and classes, functions, and how they are generated. One thing you want to look for is probably the decorators and the modules. Okay, and they're the last 3 here. These are probably something new you haven't used before. But module is something that you use a lot in Angular, and most of these frameworks use modules. Okay, so look into that. And then this is just information about the Angular versions. Okay, the frameworks in here. Go through them. I have separate videos to go over that as well, so you watch them. And these are pulled directly from the book, so you can read them in there, and the different pieces and so on. So look in here. Now I'm going to go to the other section, the practice section. This is where you'll be installing some really important applications or software for your use. You'll be needing an IDE, and I highly recommend you use Visual Studio Code. It is like de facto IDE right now in industry. So I guess I should say one of them, but it is mainly Visual Studio Code. I mean, almost everybody you talk to use Visual Studio Code. Okay, so download that already if you don't have it, and install it. And also you'll need Node.js. So go to the nodejs.org site, install it. When you install Node.js, it should install npm together with it, so you don't have to install that separately. You will need this package installer, a manager to install Angular and many other libraries. And then here I have the instructions to install Angular, okay, and create our first app. So if you follow this instruction, you will be already setting up the final project. It's called Flight App. I call it Flight App. You can call it differently if you want to. It doesn't really matter. But I just call it Flight because it makes sense. But the content is what's important. Okay, the content, the functionality, the things or the components we'll be adding to this app is what's more important than the name itself. Okay, so I'll do a separate video to show this works in here, and I'll be also going over a few things about this app here so you can kind of understand what they are. But once you do that and you run it, now by default Angular uses port number 4200. Of course you can change it, but if you don't have any conflict, if you don't have any other app using this port, just use the default port. Okay, And then once you launch that, you should see something like the following. And if you see it like this, then you are good to go, and then you're all set. Okay, so that's the practice. And then in the assignment, in the apply section for this week, as you can see, we're already building components. Usually this would happen in the week 2 or 3, but since we're going so fast, and you'll be diving into components already and creating them and making them work. So I guess it's kind of good too. You learn faster. So you're gonna build 2 components. One is called the nav bar component. The second is called the footer component, and you will add that into the main component, and then so that they will show in there. Okay, so if you look about these, they look very similar to your regular HTML tags, except these are custom tags. And in HTML5, you can create your own custom tag. I'm sorry, your custom tags. You notice that all custom tags must have a dash in there, right? So usually it uses two words, like the app dash navbar, my dash tag, whatever it is the one that don't conflict. And the reason why is because all standard HTML use uh, standard tags use just no spaces, no dashes. So if you follow the same standard format, then you might have a conflict with HTML tags. If even they haven't been created yet, maybe in the future they might have. So that's why they don't want you to use anything like this standard HTML. You must have a dash in there. Okay. And then, so you're going to build those 2 components. You're going to add it to the root component, which is in the root HTML component here, the template, so that they will show. And wherever you put this inside your HTML tag, HTML file will show up there. Okay. So again, your nav bar will be on the nav top of the nav of your page, right? In the header section, footer is on the bottom. So just like HTML. And then I also highly encourage you to add a Bootstrap theme or a template. I put here some links to some really nice template you can use. They're free, and just please just choose a free one. Okay, you don't have to buy any templates. I recommend this one here, and you can go there and download it. I'm gonna see if it can take you there. Okay, so this is a really nice template to use. You just basically download that, and so it has a nav bar. This is the content section, and then you have your footer already built for you. So what you do is you can basically download it and then add it to your Angular folder and in the public folder or somewhere else. And then just basically, let me do this. If you do a source view, this is your HTML. You find an HTML or index HTML file. Okay, so basically just copy like these style sheets here. Copy this, add it to your index page, and then your nav bar, you could just copy this, right? This code here because it has all the Bootstrap classes already, and then you just change the content. Okay, so you're just gonna follow this structure here to kind of format your layout. And the page content will have these containers, and again, just change where they are have any data, and then have fun with it, right? And then in the bottom you have your footer, right? So just put that into your component, and then that's it. So don't forget to add this in there as well. So you can have a folder somewhere in your Angular folder to go into the vendor, and then just put this in there, just make sure they work. And I'll do a separate video to kind of show you how this works here. Okay, so basically this is one of the templates you can use to build your app. Okay, so back here. And so if you have any problem or struggles with this, just let me know. And again, I'll make a video to kind of walk you through this as well. If you don't have it done the first week, don't worry about it. We'll have it fixed in the next week or so, just to make sure you have these 2 components functional and working in your app, and you should be fine. Okay, and then just submit your assignments here. All right, so that is pretty much what we'll be doing in this class. So every week we'll be building this app, adding more components to it, add functionality. We'll also be tweaking these existing components already. We'll be moving things around. I'll be showing you how to pass data from one component to the next component, and so on. So it's really, really fun once you get the logistic of how Angular works. It's really exciting, really fun. It's really powerful, and it's going to change the way how you build apps or web applications. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, again, please do let me know. All right, and have fun.